Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and today is K1 Logistics. This is April 3rd, but if you find this in the future, still should work for all of Season of the Risen. Champions are Barrier and Overload, we'll discuss that. Burn is Void, little bit of annoyance, but we can actually kind of use that to our advantage. Arc and Solar are the shields. You need to be able to manage shields in some way, both Arc and Solar. Now when I ran through this on practice runs, I did literally this build. Right here. Solar shields covered, Overload covered, and backup overload from void grenades. Bam. Barrier covered here. And then to take care of my arc shields, which there are a few, especially on the lower difficulty, there's more arc. Tarnation. Because solar here, arc here, I've got the void burn covered up here, and I've got overload grenades as a backup to my auto rifle. Not a bad way to go. Now, the summoner comes from trials. I recommend you guys playing some trials. This weekend is zone capture. You're going to have some up and down games, and some are going to be a struggle, but if you eventually get enough reputation, get some engrams, it's worth it because Alacrity works when you are running solo. Reload, stability, aim assist, range. When you are solo. Every time you're farming for lost sectors for exotics, you are solo, because you have to be. So this one, there's a scout rifle, void scout rifle, Ayesha's Embrace. That would also be a very good option in here. Either of those could be something you could use. Then you could use a kinetic auto rifle like this, or Stasis theoretically, up here. And then I could come down here and use Ayesha's Embrace, depending on the rolls. Now, as I say, depending on the rolls, because what I'm going to do with you guys is show you a different loadout. And I'm going to go with, what's a basic? All these are fairly high, so sorry in advance. But I'm going to go this way. Now, adaptive munitions is going to take a little longer to break shields, but it's going to allow me to mess with all of the shields. The solar, the arc, I can hit them all and break them. And then I'm still going to be able to actually get that void damage burn bonus, so the weapon is actually going to hit about 50% harder, which is good. Also allows my heavy to now be void, so I can hit harder with my heavy. If you have a tracking void rocket launcher, you know, you'll probably have a little better time shooting the boss, but if you're patient on the boss, you can probably get the shots in there. If you would prefer to go grenade launcher, you 100% could do that. If you want a void linear fusion rifle, I would tell you Threaded Needle's a good one to use if you've got it, but I know not everybody does. So that's one of those, if you have the weapon, cool. If you don't, I'm trying to use recent stuff. Rocket Launcher, Ammo Finder, and Scavenger, big deal. On your chest, make sure you cover all of your resistances. The boss is going to be Void. It's going to hurt, especially if you're on Master. Solar and Arc, going to kind of cover the other options. You've got all three covered here. I'm running Enduring Wells. I'm running Well of Tenacity, Elemental Armaments, Font of Might, Reaping Wellmaker. All of those are not going to get a whole lot of options for because typically I'm just not going to have a chance to get a ton of the orbs that drop. So they're there so you guys can see them. But this is what I'm running, but I just got done beating it in this way. And you could honestly, if you have Threaded Needle, probably like what I would honestly optimally recommend because Threaded Needle would hit hard. You've got crits and you can just nuke some stuff. For now, I'm just going to run this way and see how it goes. If it fails, I'll do this video in a different way. But for now, that's what we're running. I'm running my Void subclass. I've got Undermining, Instability, and Expulsion. There's probably better options, but that's just literally what I beat it with already. So I'm just going to rinse and repeat. Here we go. Master difficulty. Again, I am higher level. I am 1575 going into this thing. So level will make a difference when you're trying to do Master, but you can still farm these things on Legend and put in pretty good amount of work, and it's not going to be quite as painful. But I'm going to show you a Master guide. Legend should be easier. Probably a couple less champions. In we go. All right, so when you can begin, you see a lot of champions have appeared. So we've got a couple different options. I've got my Void Scout, obviously. So come over here first, and you're going to want to just shoot these so they're blown up. And then what we're going to want to find is our Overload Captain. He's going to do some teleporting. And your idea on the Captain is when you start firing, pretty much, well, you got to give him to actually peek a little bit. When you start him firing, he hurts. But your goal is to use this bit of cover and then just keep firing and pretty much never stop. That's your goal. You got to reload, make it quick, and then just keep firing, try and strafe a little back and forth. Now I've got Vice Stinger on this one, actually works for getting me some ammo back. And all I'm trying to do is continually have that overload damage on him so he doesn't move. That's stage one. And the other piece is so he doesn't teleport away and I keep stunning him. Now I could run up there and potentially crit him. The other option is going to be for something. So Vice Stinger on crate. Not a bad thing. You're going to have a couple of cloaked guys over here, so work on those. Marauders chilling out. Might have one around the corner. Might have this guy over here. There we go. It is a slow scout rifle, so you got to make sure you understand how that thing works. Now, over here, use your cover. Start picking these guys off. Now, if you want to work these guys down, there's usually a couple of drags that some are shielded. If they run around the corner, they're generally not. But using this cover will kind of give you the angles that you need. And this is why it's hard to break shields with adaptive munitions, but I wanted to try this run just to see the effectiveness on a scout rifle in this, especially for something like Grandmaster eventually. See? That damage stacks really high, really fast. So if I'm sitting there trying to break shields, it actually puts in some work. And now the Void Burn is actually getting more work done since I'm matching the damage type. So it actually will work. We're going to use this the whole way through. Adaptive munitions actually going to put in some work. So again, the void damage is going to allow me to get bigger procs and ticks on the big barrier guy. Biggest thing about the barrier champion is the guys that he's got with him. And that's the hardest part, is you've got to watch those scout rifle guys that are with him. And if you can take it out once when you like pop the shield, if you can focus on those guys while the shield is down, that's going to really make things a little bit better. Now, if he teleports up there, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. Try and hit the outer edge. But again, your goal when the shield has been popped is to try and kill the alternate guys that are kind of giving him cover. Reloading in a bad moment there. Basically got all his health back, but it's fine. Honestly, this is going to be a patience run, and I'm showing you guys this way. You could run Ticuu's Divination in here for solar as a barrier weapon. Totally fine. Great option. It's also going to be solar. You're going to be able to blow up some guys. The shanks won't be so bad. All of those, yes, they definitely work. I try and do this with weapons that are, for one, not exotics, because I know not everybody has them, and two, likely from a little more recent like this season, so it's something more people are probably going to be able to attain. And as he pops his shield at the wrong moment again, he's just killing me right now. He really is with some of these perfectly timed moments here. So now, the shanks are going to have solar shields. Like, this is a bad run. This is already going poorly and slow. Just because this shank is just... Oh my god, he's going to go up there. There's a captain up there, and that's just bad news, so... Well, let's see if I can show you guys the worst option for this one. Because he will teleport up there, which is the major issue. If he teleports, makes your life absolutely a living hell because you have an overload captain up there too. Yeah, this couldn't go much poorly. You're going to want to kill these guys separately, if at all in any way possible, I promise you. Now that's one of the good things about the void weapon, or the heavy slot, is the fact that I can at least get the shot off on him. I'll keep this going. But in case you're wondering, that's kind of what you need to do. That void grenade helps. I was able to actually stun the overload captain. Tucked over here around the corner. Now, you do want to watch out for the sniper shanks, the tracers. So this is where the actual void adaptive munitions is going to come into play on the void guys. Now again, this is where we've got our auto rifle. Cover is going to help. But again, constant damage with overloads and SMGs is the only way to deal with overload champions. That's why I hate overload auto SMG. They said they made it somewhat more reliable, but it's like the most... For one, I'm also sitting in the open for the longest on this one for sure. And I also just don't like the fact that you have to get about 12 bullets in on a master difficulty activity on something that just wants to constantly smash your face in. It's not really great. Now, we're going to have some more shanks off to the right. Again, one at a time. Slowly building up that shield break ability. You're also going to have some more ads coming up. You don't really have a radar, so they can shift sides on you, so be careful. Not too bad once Void starts kicking in. Can't really crit him or anything. Going to have some drags. There's an overload captain over there we'll deal with later. But again, the Void damage is actually going to put in some work. The Void Scout is actually no joke on this one. You're going to have an overload captain that's going to come say hello to you, so be careful about that. You're going to have more exploder shanks on the left as well as the right. Big guys in the back, but you're also not going to be alone because you're going to be greeted... Well, apparently there's a sniper. Vandal man. Use this cover back here for a while, because we also have another captain. And if he pushes up on you, now you need to find yourself some cover to peek in and out of. Again, the overload grenade is helping there. Gives me an alternative. Also, the void grenade is going to hit very hard on him. It's really going to put in some work. But that's just the way to do it, auto rifle style, with a grenade as kind of a backup. The grenade will 100% be worth the help, though. That's why running a void subclass, vortex grenade, sit there and just cook him down, it is definitely going to make a difference. Again, when you get ready to break the shield, make sure you're at the higher end of your clip, so you're ready. to break the shield quickly. When you break the shield, that's when you want to go for any of the adds near it. Focus those down while the shields are down, then you can go back to focusing. Make sure you get your reloads up. It's pretty much every time it teleports, it is going to proc that. Now this is the slow way, but at least Void is putting in a little work. Watch the reload timing. Usually after it teleports servitor-wise, that's when the shields are going up. Just be pre-firing as soon as those shields are going up. That's going to help that shield break a little quicker. Got like 5 bullets left. Barely enough. Takes like 3 with this thing at my level. But again, at 1550, you got to be careful. Make sure you're watching your reloads. All right, so I do have a rocket down there. So I've got some ammo. I don't want to pick that up because it's actually going to give me the scavenger piece. So what I want to do is actually, as I've got heavy ammo around here a lot, I actually want to use the heavy on the big guy to kill him a little quicker. So I want to stun him with the auto rifle. And then what I want to do, fire. That's going to take a big chunk of that damage off. Then keep firing. And again, Vice Stinger on this thing is actually perfect because it allows you to keep firing, getting those headshots, and allows you to really put in a lot of work and then come up and finish. And more heavy. See, the nice thing is if you do get a decent amount of heavy bricks dropping, you can always run back and grab them. Definitely a viable option. And here's your little hallway of doom. You're going to have an overload champion in here along with quite a few guys. Sit back for a little while. You're going to have a couple of wretch on this edge first. Once you get far enough up, you're going to have some drags. You're going to have the overload champion. And just like kind of pick off what you can from back here. The overload pulls up. Keep your grenade ready for that moment. You want to know what's funny is me stunning the headstone perk and then breaking that with my overload grenade or overload weapon actually counted as overload damage. I stunned him by the ice crystals breaking. So if you get one of these with headstone, apparently that works too. Honestly, did not know. Learning something new every day here. This is the slow and steady method. If you got a good weapon, like a threaded needle would be amazing in here with the void damage. I just know very few new people are going to have that, but I promise you that weapon is going to put in some work if you do have it. But apparently those ice crystals, if I kill it with overload, counts as overload. Maybe it's because it's based from the weapon. Not entirely sure how that happened, but I'll take it. Use your abilities if you got them every so often, actually get a chance to. Alright, now out here, you're going to have some ads come down, and the main guy appears. You're going to have your barrier champion. So set him up a little bit, but your goal is to try and kill all the little ads. Now, if you can keep that barrier champion at bay over here, you probably won't be able to, is what I'm saying. If you can get it to play nice and put this one up, and then you just want to delete it, absolutely go for that. The issue is now, is if he teleports the wrong direction, behind cover, I would be in trouble. What I honestly have typically done on this one is I will usually, because half the time I kill a couple ads and both champions are up, I will come over here. You have a decent amount of cover over here. You just have to be aware of your left side. That's the biggest thing, is you got to be aware of the left side because you will get tagged over here. All the time and a lot. Depending on where that servitor is. Now, that servitor typically will run over here, depending on what's going on. Having one down early, it really will make a difference. So if you get that opportunity, normally I've got both of them here, and I'm just going to sit there and play Ring Around the Rosie, like right in this little area, and just wait for them to teleport back and forth and keep picking them off. But if he's not going to teleport because I killed the one, he's a little out of my normal. That doesn't mean it's not going to be doable. It just means I got to be a little different in my direction. Now, this is the worry of him teleporting, and it's probably going to happen between all these barriers we've got over here. Now, I'm putting in a good amount of damage. I've got to be careful on the reloads. If you got a lot of ads down there, that is like the worst grenade throw I could probably have. Try and keep some ammo. There we go. Now, if I wanted to go rocket launcher, I could probably delete them. Trying to save those somewhat for the boss. Watch the reloads after the teleport. I'm not timing those well, so that's kind of a thing on me. And again, if you want to take that moment and pick off some of the outer ads, that is probably a good time. Again, if you shoot it, it will usually proc the teleport. Then you can go for the servitor. Now, if both of those are down, I would run back, because you're about to get a whole lot of fun stuff spawning. And this is where all of your resistance... And guess what? If you die, you still hopefully have enough time. Get back in here. Now we're going to work on everything from range. The safety of here. and everything from range. We got a scout rifle to do it, and we have a void scout rifle, so we're taking advantage of the burn and getting more damage out of every single bullet. It really doesn't make a difference. You stagger a little more. Now, the hard part's going to be these shanks, I'll be honest. Because the shanks, you're going to have to break each shield with like 5 or 6 shots. It's not just going to break like a solar weapon would. You're able to break them, which is good. It's not going to take like 6 years to break a random shield. But it is not going to be optimal, to say the least. So what you're going to want to probably look for is clear out every ad you can from range. And leave that main shank in the middle, the one that looks like basically a boss health bar. Leave that one alone until the boss starts firing at you. When the boss starts firing, you'll know your screen will generally shake, and he's up. Now at this point, he's just going to be annoying. Now you can do it one of 2 ways. I can go big rocket. That's going to hit him for literally like 90k, so it's a chunk of health. But he's going to be shielding that little boss servitor in the middle until I move him. The way you move him is get enough damage into him to make him go to that left edge. And there he goes. Usually about his first third will do that. So, reload my rocket. Now this is the guy that's going to take like 6 years to kill. Not really a great way to do this. You can sit here and plink him. Maybe if I could throw a grenade that might actually pull him in and get some void damage on him, that actually will work. And that's putting in some work. Yeah, those vortex grenades, just due to the suction effect that they have, really, really useful. So now your goal is to try and clear out as many ranged ads as you can. That snipe hurts, told you. I nearly died. And again, try and find any ad that you can. Again, we've got the captains over there, so now if I can start breaking the shields. I've also got some guy just messing me up from down below. I feel like somebody's hitting me from the right, and I'm just like not seeing. There's like a dude in front of me, or trying to figure out what is just messing me up. Besides these like 600 grenades, there's a lot of grenades, and I'm about 90 seconds away from my timer of being able to be revived. So if you are going to get aggressive, use it when you need to. Now again, we've got an overload champion down here. Try and clear out the ads that you can. Do not hit the boss, because honestly, him over there makes all the guys right down below me a bit easier. If he's on the right, it would just be absolute hell. So focus on those. Again, I'm trying to thin out the little guys that are throwing all these thousands of grenades. And again, now is a good time. If you do get that overload stun, pull out the auto rifle, keep that damage on it. Try not to really give too much of a break in damage points. And then if you can pull out the rocket launcher and go for a finisher, go for it. Not going to hurt anything. So you really got to make those moments count, because so much is flying at you. If you get that good stun from a grenade, use it. Absolutely use it. And if that captain's going to play mean and bouncy on me, I'm going to try and break that shield with adaptive. Like, the teleports on these guys are just nuts. They really are a little crazy. Finally got him, thank goodness. Okay. So, I'm going to have some ammo. I'm going to grab some of that. Void is going to hit really hard. Now, the one guy who you can actually use to your benefit should still be up over here. Where did my captain go? Oh, captain, my captain, where are you? So the Nightmare Drag is the one I'm trying to kill, so when I use my rocket to hit the boss, I'm going to do a lot more damage. But he's not playing nice. I want the captain down first, because he's being a little bit more on the annoying side. There we go. I can break the shield, and he won't teleport like 600,000 times. It'd be great. Now he's halfway there. See, I even break his shield. Now, you don't get quite the stun because you're not matching. Normally, if you break the same type of shield, the match damage will usually cause them to stagger and stun. There we go. Finally got him. Patience is a virtue sometimes, I guess. So what my goal is at this point, there's overflow for you with some of the alternate ammo. I want to kill this Nightmare Dreg because he's going to allow me to hit really hard when I use my rocket launcher. So what I can do is grab this, and when I hit him with that rocket, it hit for almost 200k because that unstable essence. And if I can do it about one more time, I can really push him to the other side, which is my goal. There we go. That's massively enough damage to move him to the other side. Now I can grab some ammo and book it up here to cover. Now is when you're going to get your final group of ads. Going to be a little on the slower side. I'm trying to leave the boss up for a little bit just to show you guys everything that would be coming basically your way. Volatile works over here to mess with some of these ads. And then once you feel like you've got just about everything cleared, if you've cleared out most things, you shouldn't have nearly as much spawn. If you kind of wait to get everything till later, it could move. But that's why it's like you can choose when to move the boss. So clear out everything you can from one side and then push hard. Get him to move to the other side and use the cover that you had before. Should die in a couple of these scout shots. Think he's gonna die. There he is. That's a wrap. 17 minutes, so a little over the 15 mark. But again, this is all legendary weapons, everything from Witch Queen. Yes, I was using Heart of Inmost Light, but the more important part is the Solar Arc and Void Damage Resistance. Anything good? I got an exotic last time, so I don't expect 2 in a row. But that is a wrap on K1 Logistics. Again, if you have something like the Summoner for an auto rifle and a bow, good to go. The adaptive munitions on this one works because I can break all shields with my scout rifle, which works well because then it allows me to run Void down here so I get much bigger chunks of damage with my heavy. Threaded Needle would be fantastic. Void Grenade Launcher also going to put in some work. You have quite a few options if you go adaptive munitions. If not, if you're going, say, Solar here and then Kinetic here, you're going to need to run Arc of some kind here, because I will say the Void Overload grenades as backup are really powerful against those Overload champions. But yeah, that is K1 Logistics. If you guys enjoyed this one, drop a like below. Leave a comment if you have a loadout that you enjoy using. You guys can find me over on Twitter, Ebontis, streaming on Twitch, a lot of Elden Ring outside of Destiny streaming, and then right here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. Those of you who are Patreons or YouTube members, thank you for that extra support. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.